Hey guys, and welcome back to A Piece of Puns. And this video is going to be a little bit different because instead of doing normal types of videos, we're going to be reading another story. But this isn't just any story. This was requested by Charlie. As you know, he's not here right now. His family is not doing the best right now. I mean, they're still alive, they're still breathing, everything like that. It's just they're sick right now, so can't come over. I figured it out. They're sick, and he requested me to do something kind of silly, and he came up with this story with me as my help, called A Pugmas Carol, and this is a story about Puggy, or not Puggy. This is a story basically about Scrooge, Scrooge, but with a pug twist. His name is Ebenezer Scrooge. Yeah, that's what it was. And this is a story of how he became Ebenezer Scrooge a little bit, and also how he started liking Christmas again. So here we go. And just so you know, guys, this is going to be dubbed over me doing the thumbnail for the video, so you're going to be seeing a time lapse of the thumbnail as well. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get into this story called Pugmas Carol. Here we go. A long time ago, in the city of Pugton, there lived a pug who never really understood the true meaning of Christmas, a pug who never really cared for the holiday, a grumpy little pug by the name of Ebenezer Scrooge. I can't read it again, sorry guys. Some say that the pug was born disliking Christmas. Some people believed it was because he never truly had a Christmas. Well, me, I believe that it was because he was just that grumpy, and I thought I could change that. But little did I know, it would all change by 3 ghosts. Let me explain. Let's go back to the year 1877, when I was in my when I was in my early 20s, that's right. It was a cold, crisp, snowy day, and everyone was talking about Ebenezer. There was a rumor going around about how he became the grumpy pug he was. The rumor started that during his early life, as a young adult, Scrooge was on his way to his job as a newspaper, the head of a newspaper, essentially. Sorry, I just put newspaper writer, but in my notes. But anyways, when he saw a young kid named Tiny Slim Jim. Tiny Slim Jim was famous for going on a walk or something, as you've seen in Basketball's baby video. When one day he walked right into him, causing his newspapers to spill everywhere. When Scrooge got back up, he asked the little one where his Christmas spirit was, and Slim Jim stuck his tongue out at him. "Bah humbug," Ebenezer said, and from that day on, he supposedly didn't have the joy of Christmas. He became grumpy. Everyone in town was discussing about this rumor as I headed to the Puggy newspaper headquarters. As I went inside, I saw every employee working tirelessly on different sections of the newspaper. They worked on the writing, the pictures, the works. I got to work making the headline story of the newspaper. Working tirelessly hour by hour, the story was about people giving back on Christmas and the joy it brings. And by the time I was done, my hands were sore. Ouch. It was 12 o'clock on Christmas Eve, and all I wanted was to get home to my puppies before Christmas Day. It was dark, so hopefully I could get home safely. I showed my headline to the man himself, and he shut down. "What do you call this?" he asked. I explained to him, but he wouldn't have it. He ordered me to write a whole new story. A news story that was something more sinister, something more cruel. And so I went back to my seat. But before I did, I asked him, "But what about my kids? What about me coming home? I need to go home before Christmas." And he just didn't have it. He said, "You are going to write that story if it's the last thing that I force you to do. And he said it with a gleam in his eye and a angry tone. And so I sat down and started working on it again when I realized I didn't get paid this week. Or this month, actually. Not this week, but you know what I mean. And so I asked him, but what about my paycheck this month? He said, here you go. He threw down a bag of a few pennies, only a few, and I was heartbroken. I asked him, why? Why did you only give me a few pennies? And he said, your work this month was terrible. It was awful. It was the worst stories I've ever seen on the front line of the page. I should just put you in the back where the comic strips are. And I was mad and sad. I thought I did great. Everybody in the whole entire neighborhood and the whole entire town as well. And I was so upset that I went up to him and screamed as loud as I could. And I said, you have no Christmas spirit. You're just an old, grumpy pug. And nobody likes somebody with no Christmas spirit. You don't even have it in your heart to give me money. And I slammed the door and left. This left little old Puganeser pondering his life, pondering his thoughts. And he pondered his thoughts all night long until 3 a.m. when a ghost appeared. This was the ghost of Christmas past. The ghost of Christmas past, everybody. And the ghost of Christmas past said, here, let me take you on a trip. And he took him on a trip all the way back to his childhood. And he said, this would be your childhood if you were never born. And he explained to him about his situation and how his mother and his father never had a kid, and they got into an argument and they got divorced. This made Puganeser very, very, very upset. It made him think for a while. His mother and his father got divorced. His mother was poor while his father was rich. His father took on the company, and his father was way meaner than he ever was. And then the ghost brought him back and said, goodbye. There are 2 other ghosts that need to see you, and I will see you later. So then the next ghost came in, and this was the ghost of Christmas present. And so the ghost of Christmas present said, look what you've done. I want to show you what you've done to that poor man by yelling at him and not giving him enough of a paycheck. The man was me, and I was very poor. I didn't have any more money to get any more Christmas presents, and I was rushing, and I tried to find a Christmas present on late notice, but I didn't even have that much money because of mean old Puganeser Scrooge. He was grumpy as can be, and he was mean. And so I was looking around for a present, but nobody would apply. Everybody was all sold out of the presents, and I broke down on the street crying because I was so poor. And this made Puganeser even more upset. And the ghost said, well, my work here is done. And he brought him back into the headquarters and said farewell. Then finally came the ghost of Christmas future. And the ghost of Christmas future said, my, Puganeser, look what you've done. Look what you've done. First, the ghost of Christmas past, he showed you what it would be like if you were never alive. And that was very gruesome. Your mother and father got divorced. She was poor and just had no money. And the ghost of Christmas present came, and he shows you that poor man's life and how it was affected by you not giving him the money he needed for Christmas Eve and for working him tirelessly until his hands were sore. he didn't have anywhere else to go, because all he wanted was a present for his pups, and he couldn't even get that. So we had to go all the way home without a Christmas present. And how does that make you feel? But I'm going to show you the worst fate of all. What if you kept on going down this route, and you, poor soul, Ebenezer Scrooge, what if you kept on being a grumpy pants? And so he brought him into the future. A few days after Christmas, Ebenezer was as mean as ever, as he showed to himself. Ebenezer was yelling and screaming and kept on tirelessly working everybody each and every day. He told them that he needed the best stories, the best pictures, the best and the best of everything. And he never took anyone else's ideas but himself. He only thought of himself and his ideas because he thought they were the best. Because, as stated before, the man who was the head, me, I was the head of the newspaper, and he didn't like that anymore. And so he decided to fire me and put me as the picture man. And he put somebody else as the head of the place. And he made sure that he would get to do the headlines his way, the Ebenezer way. And it was very cruel, working hourly, day in and day out, from 7 a.m. to 3 a.m. at night, every single day, to make sure that there was the best kind of stories that money could get. And the best kind of stories don't have people in the whole entire town talking. But, as it turns out, nobody liked the stories because they felt rushed and uninspired and downright cruel. And that's what got Ebenezer the most. That's what got him the most out of everybody. It wasn't the past ghost or the ghost of Christmas present. It was the ghost of Christmas future, because that got him, because now he was realizing that if he was going to be so mean and not even have a Christmas spirit, he would be just mean in general forever. And he would tear apart his company, tear apart his workers, and nobody would like him anymore. And the ghost of Christmas future said, "We're not done yet." Because he took him to his house, where his mother was. And he took him back a few days. He took him back on Christmas Day. And he told his mother that he forgot a Christmas present for her. And she was mad. She was furious and upset, because all he ever thought about was himself. He had people working on his newspaper tirelessly for as long as she could remember. And he didn't even have the decency to use the money that he made from his profits to get her a Christmas present. Heck, he didn't even get his own son, Ebenezer Jr., a Christmas present. How sad is that? How sad is that? And so, the ghost of Christmas future took him back. Took him back to his headquarters and told him, hopefully you learned a lesson, and hopefully you can be a lot nicer. But that's all I can do right now. What are you doing? You're ruining my Christmas story telling, Mr. Cameraman. By the way, this is Mr. Cameraman. Anyways. Ha! Don't do that! Anyways, as I was saying, he took him back and he said, "That's all I can do." And he went away. And so, Ebenezer realized what he did was so wrong and that he shouldn't be grumpy anymore. And so, on Christmas Day, he donated to all the poor old souls that didn't have a Christmas. And he said, I want you to have a Christmas. I want you to have it. To have a jolly Christmas that I never had. Because those rumors were true. I used to be in the Christmas spirit. I did, but I never had a Christmas. And I wish I could always have a Christmas. And it drove me away from my parents because I never had a Christmas. My mother and my father never really had the money to, and it drove me away from my parents because I was so upset and I got so angry that I had to fight with them. And I wanted to be happy. But then came along a baby who was being mean and didn't have Christmas spirit, and I just realized that I did not care about Christmas anymore. And now I do, and now I realize that what I did was wrong. And so everybody in Puggy Town was happy once again, even Puganeser. The end. And that was A Pugmas Carol, everybody. A Pugmas Carol. Yes, you heard it here. A Pugmas Carol. So hopefully you enjoyed the story. And don't worry, this is not the last Christmas video you'll see. And also, I have some good news. Charlie here, he's going to try his hardest to be in videos. I know he can't be over with me, doing the videos actually with me. But he's going to try and do maybe like a Zoom or a Google Meets. And we'll do videos that way. And, he wants to do like gaming videos and stuff like that. So we're going to do videos like, kind of like that way. So yeah, make sure you like this video and subscribe. And hopefully you're enjoying the videos with just me in it. Because soon it's going to be with me and Charlie. So hopefully you're enjoying these. And hopefully you're excited to see Charlie come back in some way, shape, or form. It's going to happen at some point. So don't worry, guys. It's going to happen. And yeah, peace out, punters. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. And don't be like Puganeser, guys. And have a Merry Christmas.